collision is uncomfortable. It's healthy, but it's uncomfortable. And I practice it in my intimate relationship, even though I don't like it. I do it. I know it's important. It's so healthy. And what it like turns out to be is like such a better place for both of us. It translates a little bit differently in friendships, doesn't it? So I talked about the gold in friendship and staying really real and raw. But conflict in friendship can be a little bit harder to navigate. And what came up for me today is I realized in my head I was rehearsing a conversation. And there were a lot of reasons. And it wasn't like finger pointing, but it kind of was. Like it was a subtle, I love you, but. Like, it wasn't just this is how that made me feel. Like, that is a clear and clean testimony. Not saying you did this and you know, like, you made me feel. The situation made me feel this. And then they can own or not own whatever they want to. So a good warning for me was, first of all, I'm rehearsing a conversation. That seems a little kind of calculated. Where am I concerned about having her hear me and me hear her, or am I concerned about being right? Not always the same thing. Sometimes grace means accepting somebody else's imperfections as you are endeavoring to accept your own. And we never understand, as close as we can be to someone, we don't live in their skin. We don't know what they're going through at the moment that the collision happens. It's probably not, if it's something little, or it was like an offhanded thing where you got really like triggered, they probably weren't even maybe even present. Like for them, it was like a toss off, like it wasn't that deep rooted for them. And for you, you're like, we need to have a conversation. So I guess, first of all, owning your part of it, of course, you know, and, you know, when you get short, it's very easy to get cruel. And in that moment, it's tough to open your heart. I don't always do that, hence why I need to have the conversation. And there is also room for grace in the discussion. There's room for grace in the discussion. There's room for really wanting to hear rather than judge, and really wanting to understand rather than be right. And if you find while you're listening, you're thinking of rebuttals, or you find yourself getting triggered again, I would own that and back off the discussion and say, listen, I can feel those same emotions circling for me. Like, calling out your inner landscape will make them feel, first of all, a sense of trust, because you trust them to tell them that, but they may be feeling the same thing. Because, you know, it's not a constructive discussion. You get defensive, they get defensive, and now you're just waiting for your chance to talk. You're waiting for your chance to defend or attack, and you're waiting for your chance to be right, which is not how relationships work. What, do you want to win? Great. You won. What did that get you? You want to be happy? You want to be right. You want to be fulfilled? You want to be right. You want to grow? You want to be right. Those are not always the same. Sometimes they're the same. But I'll tell you that as you're claiming a victory, you may have lost an emotional connection with someone. And I guess you got to judge what's more important to you. So when you find yourself, this is what happened, rehearsing a conversation, sounds like you're trying to like get some justifications lined up. If you have a million reasons to back yourself up, that's not talking from your heart. That's your head giving yourself a whole list of justifications. And you're probably projecting at that point. So I caught myself up way short this morning, feeling very justified, and realizing that you could be right or you could be generous. You could be right or you could open your heart. You could be put up your shield and pull out your sword, or you could lay down your shield and open up yourself. And what do you think is going to be more rewarding in the long run? So I'm pretty humbled by that gift. And I know that gift came from, I told you yesterday that I'm studying Green Tara, and she is like, what she is to help you bring about is like this really deep self-compassion. But what's so beautiful about the practice of Tibetan Buddhism is it's never just about your self-compassion. It's about you making sure that the whole world can experience that too. So when you heal yourself, you're asking for healing for the world. And so this is a good example of a good place to be like, by healing this conversation, I can heal them and me. So that is what came up for me with like a gut punch today. And I will see you tomorrow.